I wanted to focus another video on one of these hard areas. This is a conversation piece in a lot of my conversations with guys that you don't have a lot of experience with body work. We don't do it every day. I used to be a drywaller. I'm a hell of a finisher, and as you can see, we use some old mud. It's all stiff in the can. But I wanted to talk about, before I show you that, there's a use for that stiff mud. I put a little bit of xylene in it, and it's a good filler to fill in some of the deep, like this was. This is a complex area. And what I wanted to tell people about this first is how to finish one of these areas where you have an intersection, just like in drywall. Well, the first thing you got to do is keep in mind that you can't wipe one layer on one way, sand it out, and then wipe the layer the other way. Basically what you're going to do is take a clean new spreader. That's why I got one. And that's the old hard stuff right there. And then I finally got the Dynalites back on. They call it ultra lightweight, but they used to call it Dynalite, and I used to get it everywhere. Or there was the Chromolite. They still make a Chromolite, but it's a lot like a Bondo. It's really hard to chop through it. This stuff, you don't go through as many pads with that lightweight. You take your spreader, your new spreader, and you'll wipe one direction and let that dry. Then you don't sand it. Then you'll wipe the other direction. Okay, so if you wipe the cross first, and then you got to fill this hole down here, and that's a good body filler right there. I'm not that great with this camera pointing out things, but there's a deep area right there. You probably see that, right? Hopefully. There's another deep area. This bed was hit. Like I said, it was like a drunk owned the goddamn thing. There was a freaking dent everywhere. I don't know. And then I took the pinstripes off. That took a couple hours yesterday and the day before to get the pinstripes off. And they had bed rail caps with that real sticky, the two-sided 3M tape. That's a real bastard to get that stuff off. And then we still have to sand the bed down because we have weather coming tonight. So hopefully we'll get it primed and sprayed, at least 2 coats. And then this is how our frame turned out with our POR and Rust-Oleum mix, the bed liner. And then we top coated it with the POR, the spray can. They make a spray top coating, and hopefully that'll hold up. So far no rust has come back. It really sucked down tight to the frame. Like I said, you could throw a hammer at this shit now with the SURGERIES underneath it and all that. It's got like 2 bariums. So you basically got an epoxy prime, you got a SURGERIES Rust-Oleum mix, and then you got the Rust-Oleum and the POR thrown together. And it actually didn't come out all that bad. So if you take a look at the bed, I like to be a teacher. A couple people have commented, hey, I know my stuff. And yeah, after a couple years, even if you're a rookie at it, you get pretty good. I want you to keep in mind, even like that area, I'm not going to get too fussy with it where I banged it out. It's just going to have to live on like that. You can only take so much. You're going to see some marks, like if you're going to have some smart-ass body man or wannabe walk up to you and, hey, look at that, that shows. You're not going to get everything, and not racing weather and not having to go to work the next day. But you can make it look presentable, and then you can fix other stuff as you go, like this. One day I'll pull the tail lights out, I'll sand all that down, and then I'll put that rust inhibitor in there, and then I'll epoxy coat all inside there, and then that goes away. And then before you shoot your bed, by the way, you're going to make a lot of dirt that's going to fly in the hole. Take your air hose and get that shit out of there, because it's going to destroy your paint job if you don't. Everywhere, every nook and cranny, even behind the panels, because when you go to spray up in here and there's dust, it'll blow back and it'll go on the paint. And then you move your other vehicles or keep them a good distance from where your spray area is at. So as you can see, this side of the bed's not as evolved as the other side, but the other side was the worst area. And then I'll make another video with the Dynalite and the primer over it, and you'll be able to see that you got most of the bullshit out. But as I said, you're not going to get everything. When they had glue sticky, this, that, and everything else all over the fucking bed, just do the best you can with it, and don't worry about the critics. They can kiss my dick just like they do everybody else's if you're not really interested. We have to get it on the road. It's a work truck, but you want it to look presentable when you go to a customer's house. Just like that one's rotting away, getting some rust holes. That's a real bitch fixing that stuff. But $40,000 for a new truck that's going to do the same fucking thing in 5 years, you might as well fix it. They're not building them any better. They're building them worse. The Chinese are they're killing us. So keep that in mind, and keep the products I'm showing you in mind, like the POR. I mentioned mixing that with the Rust-Oleum bed liner and a little bit of the top coating. When you have a truck that's in a state of decay and you don't want to spend another 40 grand and you don't have it, that's what you have to do. So I'll give you a thing when that's in primer. It's going to be a workout getting some of these dents out of it and getting it prepped before the weather gets here. Thanks.